Hi, I wanted to do a quick example with you guys showing the difference between static or one-shot games and dynamic games or games where timing matters. So in games where timing matters, you have one player move first and then the second player decides what he wants to do after he sees the first person's move. And so in this example, we're going to assume Viper and Corvette are deciding whether or not to make hybrid models. And when timing doesn't matter, the payoff matrix is typical way that we solve these games to find the Nash equilibrium. But when timing does matter, we're going to use a different structure, which is called the decision tree. And so we're going to start off with the payoff matrix, and then we'll go into the decision tree. And so I'll show you this as we go along. And so this is the one-shot game. So assume that Chevy and Dodge were going to play this game, and these are the associated payoffs. If they both offer a hybrid, they'll each get 60 million. If Chevy offers a hybrid and Dodge does not, then Chevy gets 80 million and Dodge gets 70. The payoffs are reversed if Dodge offers a hybrid and Chevy does not. And if neither firm offers a hybrid, then they'll get $50 million each. So if these firms were both going to move simultaneously and independently, let's say each firm was in their own boardroom and then they were going to announce their decisions on the same day, then neither one would know what was going to happen with the other, and they wouldn't be able to base their move on what the other person had done. And so this is sort of the games in the first half of Chapter 9. So to solve these, remember, we always have to put ourselves in our opponent's shoes. So Chevy is going to think, okay, if Dodge is going to offer a hybrid, what's my best response? And they'll say, well, if Dodge offers a hybrid, I can either not offer a hybrid and get 60 or not offer a hybrid and get 70. So since 70 is bigger than 60, this would be Chevy's best response if Dodge offered a hybrid. Now, if Dodge does not offer a hybrid, Chevy can get 80 by offering a hybrid and only 50 by not offering. And so if Dodge did not offer a hybrid, Chevy would want to offer the hybrid. And so they don't have a dominant strategy in this case. Now, Dodge is going to do the same thing. They'll say if Chevy offers a hybrid, we can either offer the hybrid and get 60 or not offer the hybrid and get 70. So again, if Chevy offers the hybrid, Dodge will not offer the hybrid. But if Chevy does offer the hybrid, they'll be down on this channel. And if Dodge offers the hybrid when Chevy does not, they'll get 80. But if Dodge does not offer a hybrid when Chevy does not, they'll only get 50. So in this case, the two Nash equilibria, oops, pardon me, let me get back to this. The two Nash equilibria are hybrid, no hybrid, and no hybrid, hybrid. And so the anti-coordination is sort of the Nash equilibrium of this game. The problem with this is no firm knows what the other firm is going to do. If Chevy offers a hybrid, Dodge would rather not. If Chevy does not offer a hybrid, Dodge would want to. But it's entirely possible that we could end up both firms offering a hybrid or neither firm offering a hybrid, and then they would have to adjust in the next period. But when we're in a one-shot game, there's two Nash equilibria, and it's not really clear which one is going to be the appropriate one to take. However, if we know timing matters, and let's say we allow Chevy to move first, then if that was the case, we would be able to get one different outcome. We would use a game tree to analyze this. And so Dodge will be the first mover, and they're going to decide to either offer the hybrid or not. And then Chevy's going to decide, after they see where Dodge goes, whether to offer the hybrid or not offer the hybrid. And then the payoffs will be associated with that. Now, the way we solve these games is a process called backward induction. And backward induction basically means starting at the back of the game and working our way forward. So since Chevy moves second, we're going to have them go first, and we'll say if Chevy found themselves here at location B, would they want to offer a hybrid or not offer a hybrid? And so if they offered the hybrid, they would get 60. If they didn't, they would get 70. And so if Chevy found themselves at B, they would definitely not offer a hybrid. And so if I had this on paper, I would make a little mark on this branch of the tree. Then I'll go down to this part, because this is still the second period of the game. And if Chevy found themselves at this location, they could offer the hybrid and get 80, or not offer the hybrid and get 50. So if Chevy found themselves on this branch, they would always offer the hybrid. And again, if this was on paper, I would make a little mark or a little arrow on this branch. So now that we've answered both questions on the second stage, now we can move back to the first stage of the game. And so Dodge is going to say, well, if I offer a hybrid, Dodge knows Chevy will not. Remember, the game structure and the payoffs are common knowledge, so Dodge knows if they offer a hybrid that Chevy will not offer the hybrid, and that will leave Dodge with $80 million and $70 million for Chevy. They also know that if they don't offer the hybrid, that Chevy will, and so that will leave $70 million for Dodge and $80 for Chevy. So by using backward induction, and if timing matters, meaning that if Dodge has this first mover advantage, then they're not going to be considering these two outcomes, the both firms offer or neither firm offers. They know that they're going to end up at one of these two locations, and so they're essentially deciding, do they want to go offer the hybrid and get 80 million, or do they want to not offer the hybrid and get 70 million? And so they will choose to offer the hybrid. Chevy will respond by not offering the hybrid, and the payoffs, the unique sub-game perfect equilibrium of this game, is Dodge offers the hybrid, Chevy doesn't offer the hybrid, and the payoffs are 70 million for Chevy and 80 million for Dodge. Now, there's another kind of question, and that's whether or not Chevy could threaten Dodge to say, I'm going to offer a hybrid no matter what. Could Chevy deter Dodge from offering a hybrid in the first period by threatening to offer a hybrid no matter what Dodge does? And you might look at this and think, well, yeah, they could, because if Dodge thought Chevy would offer the hybrid, then they would end up with 60, and Dodge would rather just end up at this outcome with the 70 million. But the problem is that the threat that Chevrolet makes to offer the hybrid no matter what is not a credible threat. Because if Dodge called their bluff and offered the hybrid anyways, Chevy is under no legal obligation to keep their promise or uphold their threat. And so if they were to offer a hybrid, it would basically cost themselves $10 million. And so Dodge could call their bluff by recognizing that that is not a credible threat by Chevy. And so the outcome for this game, or the unique outcome for this game, is here, 70 million for Chevy, 80 million for Dodge, and that's because Dodge has the first mover advantage. Again, we talked about credible threats. A credible threat is a threat to take an action that is in the threatener's best interest. And so analyze this in Tony Bennett's Compensation at the very beginning of this chapter is another example of a credible threat. The producers for Analyze This could not credibly threaten to take Tony Bennett out of the movie because they had already shot the movie. And so their better option was to just meet Tony Bennett's salary demands, and that was it. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this example, and I hope this helps you succeed on the homework for chapters 9 and 10.